This meeting is being recorded.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you are joining from. Thank you so much for making the time to join us for our first webinar in this 2026. Today we have Gulu University. They'll be presenting to us an interesting study focusing on leveraging ICT to prevent online child abuse at home. Lessons from Gulu City. My name is Maria Ndibalekera. I work with the AfriChild Center as well as Makerere University, and I will be moderating this session. You are all most welcome. At this juncture, I want to invite all of you who have already joined to put some details in the chat to introduce yourself and to tell us some bit of some information about yourself, where you're joining from, the organization you're working with, all that, such that we get to know who is joining us today. Thank you so much. So just to take us through the agenda for our webinar, we are going to have a video about the AfriChild Center, where we shall get to know what is AfriChild, what does it do. I know that some of you have been joining us and probably you have some information about the center, but it will be for the benefit of those who may be joining us for the very first time. Then we shall have a brief about the Inter-University Child Focused Research Methods training. This training is run by the AfriChild Center, and it will give us some bit of context of why we are having Gulu University presenting to us today. We shall have the introduction of the speakers, our presenters for today. Then we shall move into the presentation where Dr. Tabo and the team will take us through the study. We shall run a short poll question, which we shall invite all of you to participate in regarding the topic of discussion. We shall have a Q&A session where we shall be able to listen from you to get your comments and your feedback and any questions that you may have. We shall wrap up this webinar with some announcements and any other key takeaways that we may have from the session. So I want to thank you so much for joining. And at this juncture, I want to welcome the AfriChild team internally to share with us the video. Thank you. Just a minute.
Welcome to the AfriChild Center, where we strive for an Africa where children's well-being is realized for sustainable development. The AfriChild Center exists to generate research that informs policy and practice for the well-being of children.
Established in 2013, the AfriChild Center exists to improve the lives of children across Africa. As an institution, our vision is to see an Africa where child well-being is realized for sustainable development. We recognize that across Africa, and specifically sub-Saharan Africa, children continue to face challenges across the domains of child health and survival, child protection, child development, and child participation. And as an institution, through research, our mission is to generate evidence that will improve practice and policy. We do this through rigorous research, capacity building, with an intention of building a cadre of researchers across Africa that will contribute to generating evidence to improve both practice and policy. But we are also intentional on our engagement at policy level, ensuring that research is undertaken with the intention of improving our legislative and policy frameworks. We are keen on partnerships. We believe that we cannot do this alone. We need to work closely and in collaboration with like-minded organizations, with partners, communities, and more especially with children involved in echoing and sharing the aspirations and the vision.
Join us in our mission to transform the lives of children across Africa. Together, we can make a lasting impact. To learn more about the AfriChild Center and how you can support our work, visit our website or follow us on social media.
Thank you so much, the comms team, for showing us that beautiful video which showcases the work that AfriChild does, but also gives us a background of what the center is and aligns us to the mission of striving for an Africa where child well-being is realized for sustainable development. So just to continue welcoming you, those who have just joined us, thank you for making the time. Please register in the chat to tell us some bit of where you're joining from, who you are. This is information that we shall use even going forward for future reference. So moving on to the other item on our agenda, we want to just give you some bit of background about the Inter-University Child-Focused Research Methods Training. This training is run by the AfriChild Center and it's one of our flagship programs. The training was conceived by the AfriChild Center in 2017, and it is intended to build capacity, basically to strengthen capacity, because the participants that are trained in this program, some have some idea about research, but it is intended to strengthen their capacity in generating child-focused research to inform policy and programming. The training targets faculty members from universities. And initially we had, in the first and the second cohort, we had 7 universities participating, but in the third cohort, which we are showcasing in this webinar, we had 10 universities, some from Uganda and others from the other parts of Africa. So Gulu University is a participant in that training, and this training is specifically intended to strengthen the capacity of the faculty members from those universities to generate child-focused research with the aim of putting out more evidence on the African child. Besides that, the training intends to train and mentor a cadre of scholars, each capable of serving as principal investigators or lead monitoring and evaluation experts on extramural funded research, projects, and intervention studies to address child welfare, development issues, and early childhood development. Besides that, the training is also intended to strengthen the collaboration among researchers across disciplines, expertise, universities, and countries. So the participants usually come from different disciplines, meaning it's multidisciplinary, but it also, they are coming from different universities. So it is intended to see that they are able to collaborate amidst their disciplines, but also go beyond and collaborate among the universities that are participating, and also take the collaboration to a higher level where they are also now collaboration between countries. Just to mention that we have the University of Addis Ababa University from Ethiopia as part of this training, and for the fourth cohort, we are intending to expand this training to 3 other universities in Africa. The third objective of this training is to generate high quality research evidence to inform policies and programming to enhance the well-being of children. So the ultimate aim is to see that children's lives are improved, their well-being is improved, not to just do the research and maybe have it on our shelves, but the intention is to see that this research impacts the lives of children. So Gulu University, under this training, undertook a study which they are going to be presenting to us today. And at this juncture, I want to take the moment to introduce our panelists. Okay. So among the panelists today, we have Dr. Tabo Olok Geoffrey. Dr. Tabo is a doctor of human-centered design and informatics. He's a senior lecturer at the Department of Computer Science, Gulu University. His research interests and focus are on designing infrastructure for learning and learning infrastructure, PBL and emerging technologies, requirements for engineering and health informatics in general. Specifically, he focuses on leveraging IT tools and services to support collaborative research and learning activities within higher institutions and beyond. So I think that speaks to the topic that we have today. It's also embedded in ICT. We have Dr. Robert Opiro. He is a senior lecturer and head of Department of Biology, Faculty of Science, Gulu University. He earned his PhD in molecular entomology from Gulu University in 2018. Following a master's degree in zoology from Makerere University in 2011, during his PhD, he was a graduate fellow at the Yale School of Public Health, where he studied the genetic structure of tsetse flies, the vectors of sleeping sickness in northern Uganda. Thank you, Dr. Robert Opiro, for joining us. Next, we have Dr. Akero Kalumera Christine. She's the officer in charge of e-learning at Gulu University, where she leads initiatives to advance digital teaching and learning. She also coordinates research within the Department of Computer Science and actively works with colleagues across different disciplines on multidisciplinary research projects. You're most welcome, Dr. Akero. Last but not least is Mr. Wacha Stephen. He is an IT professional and software engineer with a bachelor's degree in information and communication technology and is currently pursuing a Master of Science in IT for development at Gulu University. He serves as the lead software engineer at Favor of God International, where he contributes to the design, development, and management of digital systems implemented across multiple countries. You are most welcome, Mr. Wacha Stephen, and all the panelists. So that said, we have very good panelists, all experts in their different fields. So at this juncture, I want to now welcome Dr. Tabo Geoffrey to take us through the presentation. Doctor, over to you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for introductions, Maria, and the AfriChild Center for the training and also the seed grant that enabled us to do this research. But also, as I do this welcome, please, Clayton can put on the slides for us to just follow from your side. So also I say thank you to Gulu University for enabling us to actually undergo this training, and also to the Research and Ethics Committee that approved this manuscript. Thank you so much to the trainers who took us through the 1-year cycle of this training, and of course to the Gulu University team. And we are this on the slide, myself and the others And we are going to talk in phases, but I would like to start by saying that Christine has some issues, so she could not be able to participate. But also Robert is here, but he just came from Cindy this tonight, and so I don't know. He has joined in the team of the other members that are going to be in the general group. So I am here with Stephen, and I'm going to make this quick presentation, but please, we are looking through to make sure that we get good feedback, because also part of presenting an app is to get adequate feedback in which we can upgrade our app and also embed new technologies to it so that it can be more efficient and support our functions of this endeavor to actually use ICT to prevent some of the crime that take place online. So our motivation is that the technology today has been adopted in higher education, also in a lower education, but less attention has been put into the safety of the children as they actually engage on digital learning platforms. So we have to talk about this as part of our presentation, but also at the end, we develop a small app to demonstrate our design science initiative to show that we can actually do some of this to prevent this online abuse rather than just talking about them. So these technologies have transformed learning. We know about this already, and there's a lot of high exposure to vulnerability of children as they go through technologies, and we are very aware that you, all the members are also experiencing this at our homes, and some of these vulnerabilities may not be actually physical, but it could be mental. So while we share these gadgets with the children, we actually see how we can cause them more problems than rather give them opportunity to learn. So we have identified a lot to do with cyberbullying by other children or even by adults, sexual harassment, harmful content, and a lot of online predators. And we shall look into some of the challenges that we have also been able to discover from Gulu. So with this, we kind of we take our point of departure on the unsupervised use of smartphones, tablets, and laptops with unregulated online access, and more specifically when they're at home, because we also learned that at workplaces, we have controls from the server side by the IT department. But what happens at home is something to be discussed. So shifting our attention to online learning and also with this competency-based education today actually gives a little bit of desire for us to understand what takes place beyond what we see the children do on this IT. So our problem is basically also coming from low digital literacy among children, but also among the parents. And that leads to weak supervision and limited school safeguards, because we do not actually have full control over what children go through in this diverse environment of a lot of good and bad things. So in this case, our problem is basically emanating from also somewhere where we have some of these examples of apps available, that they have a lot of high costs, but they also have non-contextualized and difficult to use parameters. So they cannot actually be affording to our practice in Uganda. So we are motivated that while we do this kind of research, we also build a solution. So the solution basically we are presenting here is affordable and culturally relevant or context specific to our children in Uganda. And we are drawing all this from our study in Gulu. So specifically, we have determined the prevalence of and control inappropriate and useful information of the learners through this first objective. We also try to assess the knowledge, attitude, and practices of parents. So it is kind of multidisciplinary, but also it is kind of cross-cutting among all the age groups who are concerned with child development. So we developed an app. We have tested it, and this part of the presentation also serves as a validation for our app to be able to afford our practices and also support children in teaching in their learning. Our methodology actually is drawn from a more of, please go to the next slide, is we draw on exploratory sequential mixed method research design, in which we have identified this mixed method and sequentially follow from qualitative to quantitative, and therefore finally to the development of an app. And we thought this was appropriate method, but specifically in this case, we looked at design science, because at the end of the day, we need an app, we need a product from which the research can be actually leveraged can be useful to our users. So we started from the relevance of this research through focus groups, interviews, and questionnaires with only a cohort of children between primary 5 and 7, because at that age, they are semi-independent, and therefore they can also afford, through their parents' assent, they can actually give us good feedback to what we are doing. Then we went through design cycle, and we kind of did some co-design with the teachers, and this was kind of a dry run with the teachers to actually give their perspectives to what we are going to design, and to help the children actually learn by having to go through all these refinement cycles of the design. So in the rigor cycle, we are actually informed by what we already know globally through research, literature review, and also evidence-based and best practices, what we have been able to discover from the different schools. So we actually worked with 12 schools, and these schools are basically purposely selected across the different terrain in Gulu City. There are schools which are more rural and those which are more urban, just to make sure that we purposefully collect all this information from the parents. So this was a kind of a starting point to our development of the app also. Okay, so what did we find? Or what did we do? We kind of first did the recruitment. I already talked about this. We took up to 118 children who actually also participated, and were able to complete our questionnaire, and using Kobo Collect as a tool to collect this information. We had some 24 teachers who participated in our focus group discussion, kind of to make a reflection on what we are going to do or what we are doing, so that we can actually collaborate this with our quantitative research approach. So we use R version 4.5.2, and we also did some transcription, and we used thematic analysis to organize our app to actually address some of the most important things that came from the teachers. And quick results are that the prevalence of abuse and unwanted information by gender was so clear that actually we can see that by age, the girls and the boys have got different kind of prevalences. And you know, at the primary level, the girls are a little older, or they grow a little faster. So this has actually caused us a little bit of turbulence. But overall, we see that online grooming is basically taking place through friendship, photo sharing, pictures, gifts, and all these things that children like. But over all this study we have done, nearly 20% are affected. And of this 20%, 23%, we see females more at risk than the boys, standing at nearly 16%. So this actually requires us to understand the distinguish between various online grooming strategies, and give us the opportunity and tactics for a more prevalent understanding of this among girls and boys. So we designed some tool to help the parents to be able to address the gaps that are actually existing in our society and beyond. Okay, as part of results, this is kind of just showcasing what I've been talking about before, but you can see the photos and shared gifts, and how these things are actually playing in the lives of children. And you can also see the percentage by age group. This side, the sexual content that are actually coming to the children, which actually so detrimental to their learning, and kind of cause a lot of abuse to their learning process. Okay. At this point, I should have invite Robert to kind of take us through this part, but I don't know. Maria, I need to just find out if Robert is here, so you can take over from here, and that's why you should share this slide on your side. Hello, Robert.
But Robert, Dr. Robert, are you there?
Okay. If he's not there, I'll continue to talk. Sorry, sir, we can save the time. But what do we interpret from this kind of information? Some of them we could not put them on the slide because of time, but here we can see that there's high prevalence at early stage, and the early stage of grooming, they are still coming up because technology is still getting into the different parts of the school system. And then girls are actually more vulnerable. They are mostly in gift sharing, so they're kind of having bait through gifts to actually recruit girls. But also now we can see there's urgent need for protection for these children. You can see the level of harmful content to the children. But in conclusion, children really face significant digital risks that I think every stakeholder in this dissemination should take interest in. And also existing tools are currently insufficient to protect our children as we actually begin to drive our agenda of digital transformation in schools and all our services. So context-specific ICT tool is an essential deliverable for such to prevent our children from all these abuses. Okay. In the second part of the objective, which we looked at the attitude and knowledge practices of parents and teachers, we actually see that there's recognition of risks by both parents and teachers, but the knowledge of specific digital risks varies across the parents and teachers. They're not very specific, but this also is understandable because of what they teach and also maybe their backgrounds and what they actually do in their daily businesses or in their daily workplaces. So most of these protection efforts are actually reactive, and many times we wait until there is something wrong, then we begin to sort out these problems. Meanwhile, we can actually try to see if we have preventive measures ahead of time. So we also see that there are moral and cultural issues, and that's why I think it speaks very clearly to our intervention, where internet skills, skills critical thinking. There are so many things now with this AI on board. Actually, there are so many more than we can say on this short presentation. Otherwise, there are also gaps in policy. One teacher just noted that our child protection policy mainly covers physical abuse, and there is no mention or is silent about online issues. And therefore, you can see that some of the issues with policy also needs to be put on board, and government oversight is kind of minimum, we could say. So ministry doesn't have a way to monitor how people are using ICTs. The content for different classes and age groups are not very specifically stipulated in the documents from the ministry. So it implies that we need to understand how to work around digital technologies and also technical vulnerabilities that our children really are going through without our knowledge. And therefore, this could also cause reduction in the performances and the knowledge of children, and causing more of these harms that can appear later in the life of a child. Next. So we actually also want to look at some practices and applications to child protection in schools. I'll only pick one, that implementation relies on mutual supervision. So we think that with an app, it is better for parents to also supervise their children while they're at home. Meanwhile, the teachers take the same role while children are at school. So a parent said we depend on ICT support to move around. There is no central control system. So you just have your phone, and then you can be able to display the content of this phone to the child, and you don't have any way of protecting them. I know WhatsApp has tried to kind of create another layer of security, but that's not enough. And children can also learn fast to remember some of this. So both at school and at home, we need kind of a better central control system. It's easier at school than at home. So at home, we think this app called TotoSafe will help us to kind of control some of these practices. But the home practices are also many, and we are all coming from different homes. So parents often are trying to do things in denial. For example, my child can't see that, but this is one parent saying, you cannot see this kind of harmful content. But when you give the phone to the child, and the child runs with it to some other corner, you cannot tell what they are seeing the other side. So even when they have seen, you have no electronic footprint to show what the kid has been viewing. So I think some of these kind of denials are actually giving parents more headache, because children learn what they have not known, that the parents do not know. And therefore, most times the learners are ahead of the teachers, but also ahead of the parents. So the key challenges I can say here quickly is digital literacy. We need kind of to take care of this as a country, but risk of viewing and immoral content rather than actually technical issues also causing us to actually debate a lot of the requirement for technical safeguards for our children. So our implication, which is more important in this slide, is that we need in schools centralized automated digital protection tools. We need a policy to help the schools and the government to monitor what is taking place in schools, but also strengthen capacity and awareness among teachers and parents. But while we do this, we also address our cultural values to increase acceptance of ICT in schools, but also at home. Okay. Christine should be here, but again, I'm sure Christine, as I said before, she is having some other issues, so she cannot talk. So I can do this on behalf of everybody. Then they'll wait for Q&A, and they'll help me respond to some of these questions. So application for safeguarding children while they are doing digital learning. So what we have done here is kind of to look at the application as an urgent and inevitable need due to increasing digital learning requirement in different schools. We call the teachers, and this is kind of the session we had with the teachers in this space where they gave us a lot of reflection. I can only pick one of these many, but just to say that the teachers say the Ministry or City Education Officer does not monitor ICT, but they monitor the progress whatever takes place in schools. Or many parents live in denial. They say, my child can't see that, as I said before. But generally, a teacher administrator said in one of the primary schools that, my dear brothers, when development comes, you cannot stop it by raising your hand. No, don't come. When new things are coming, you cannot stop them by raising your hand. So saying no is not enough. They're saying we should be able to kind of afford these new changes, but we should focus our attention to how we can actually dialogue and develop these solutions that benefit our environments. Now, can you go ahead, Clinton? So I will not talk about this on the entire table, but this is the kind of to show what we have gone through as part of the team developing this solution, that we identified the challenges. We also derived our requirements. We went through requirements elicitation, requirements refinement, and the system design, including some kind of agility to actually deliver some of the most important part of the systems early in time. So the key fundamentals here are to look at content filtering, real-time monitoring, pop-up warnings that keep coming on our machines, including now you can see when we're sending message, they keep coming on the screen, and that can also cause distortion to the children. Then teacher dashboard to actually follow activity logs to see what children are actually viewing in the higher classes because they have to use these IT tools. Then also parent dashboard to control children. Maybe even when they're going to sleep, instead they don't sleep, they go and continue doing their WhatsApp and all this video including YouTube for children. That also makes them have a lot of mental issues because of sleep. But also we think that we need a site that can help us to do some blocking or full mode timer and screen time management to see what children are actually viewing on a given screen. And Clinton? We have some quick recommendations for the team who are listening to us here, that for school and the teachers, I think on behalf of the team, we are saying digital safety policies within institutions with specific reference to online risks are quite important. We need to actually take care of it. And to the parents and households, we were attending this talk, digital parenting behavior needs to be rethought in a more pragmatic manner, so that we avoid these reactive punishments that could be replaced by evidence-informed supervision. And so parents do not need to wait until some of these things happen. But we also argue for digital literacy campaigns. And now we have AfriChild to help us to actually deliver some of this to us and also to the government. So for government, we think that UCC and different agencies responsible, including the ministry, should focus on online protection of children, but also they should deliver some of the filtering mechanisms. Maybe we can also make our contribution to the same environment by making safe use of digital infrastructure in the schools, but also at home. So we are looking at the schools being accountable through policies and also using this technology more responsibly for delivering teaching and learning. And I think from here, I will kind of request my colleague to continue because we have to just showcase the different screens. You can go ahead, Clinton, that this is kind of an image presentation of our content, and the other will be taken care of by Stephen. Thank you very much. I can now mute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tabo, for the wonderful presentation. There is so much applauding in the chat for what you have presented. I think people are really excited to get to know that we have now like some kind of a local solution that we can use. We are going to first of all run the poll before Mr. Watcher Stephen comes in to get to know how our audience is currently protecting their children. comms team. Okay, we are inviting you all to participate in this poll where we are posing a question of how do you monitor your child's online activity? We all have children, maybe our own children or children in the neighborhood. We have nieces who maybe move around and ask for phone. How do you monitor such activities? How children are using their phones or the devices. It could be a tablet, it could be a laptop. Yes, we are going to take about 2 minutes on this, just to get your responses. Okay. So, thank you so much for your participation in the poll. So we have quite a number of responses, how people monitor their children's activity online. And the one that is leading at 25%, at 30% is use of parental controls. Maybe we shall get to know some bit of what controls are those, maybe in the chat. Then it's followed by I check their device directly. So some parents go ahead to see what children been viewing. Then I review the screen time reports. I follow them on social media. Interesting. We talk, but I don't monitor. I don't monitor, that is at 2%. I'm not sure how to monitor. Maybe in this webinar, we shall get to know how we can monitor. No personal device access. Some people don't have, some children probably don't have access to these devices, which is at 11%. And then we have those that fall under other, which explanations maybe we shall get to know later. But overall, we can say that there is some bit of what is being done by some parents on this webinar to protect children, but a lot more needs to be done because there are those that don't monitor at all, and there are those who don't know how to monitor. So at this juncture, I want to invite Mr. Wacha Stephen to kind of to take us through the app that was developed. Maybe going forward, this is a tool that you can make use of to protect children, your children at your home or children in the neighborhood, your nieces, your cousins, whoever it may be. Mr. Wacha Stephen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Maria. We had earlier on sent some video to your side. I don't know whether you have downloaded. We needed to use the video because it's short again.
We are going to share the video.
Training us on child-focused research, and Gulu University for giving us the opportunity to be trained. The outcome of this training is the manuscript and a product called Toto Safe, a smart and reliable parental control solution designed to help parents protect and guide their children in today's digital world. To get started, simply install and open the Toto Safe Parental Control app. When prompted, please allow all requested permissions, including the accessibility service. These permissions are essential for the app to run securely in the background and enforce protection rules effectively. If you are a new user, the app will guide you through a short onboarding experience. This includes a clear overview of Toto Safe's key features. While you may skip this section, we strongly recommend reviewing each screen to fully understand how the app works. Next, log in or create a new parent account. Please note that TotoSafe does not allow duplicate accounts, ensuring data integrity and security. Once logged in, the parent dashboard appears. At the top of the screen, you'll see a list of your children's profiles, which are fully selectable. If no child profiles exist yet, simply open the side navigation menu and select Child Profiles. Fill in the required child details, click Register, and wait briefly while the account is created. After successful creation, returning to the dashboard will display all registered children. You may now log in on the child's device using the child account, or switch between parent and child accounts as needed. After logging in as a child, ensure the device has an active internet connection. Within approximately 5 minutes, the device will securely sync data with the TotoSafe server. From the child account, you can easily switch back to the parent account by tapping the arrow in the upper right corner and entering the parent password. As a parent, once you select a child profile at the top of the dashboard, you gain full visibility and control. You can review installed apps, configure web filters, and manage usage rules. By tapping on any app, you can block or unblock it. These changes take effect within 5 minutes on the child's device regardless of location as long as the device has internet access. If a child attempts to open a blocked application, TotoSafe immediately prevents access, ensuring consistent enforcement. For call monitoring, parents can view call statistics, interaction frequency, and contact details. This insight helps parents take informed action when necessary. For SMS monitoring, messages related to banking or financial transactions are completely ignored. They are never uploaded, stored, or processed, ensuring privacy and security. The app also includes optional settings that can be enabled based on your preferences. Additional features include light and dark mode, allowing you to customize the app's appearance for comfortable viewing. Once all rules and restrictions have been downloaded to the child's phone, TotoSafe continues to monitor and block activity even when the device is offline. With TotoSafe, parents stay informed, children stay protected, and families stay connected safely and responsibly. This is still under development and more features will be integrated after validation. Thank you for your audience.
Thank you so much. That is a small showcase of the application. As we have said, the application is still under development and we are still improving because we have realized that ample contents are not all about only calls or their interactions. As well, we have realized that there are a couple of people who use images and so on and so forth. So we are planning to integrate an AI that is able to read the content on the screen and be able to classify those images and see whether they are nudes and so on and so forth. So which means the next upgrades that we are bringing, we are going to cover a total protection on social media, no matter the encryptions, no matter the techniques that they use to avoid applications from checking in and classifying harmful content to the children. And as well, we have provided a web-based portal for the parents as well. So a parent can either monitor or do those settings on a mobile phone, or they can use, they can log in on the TotoSafe website, where they can as well be able to monitor their children. As well, we have there the location tracking, activity logs as well. So with time, we shall improve the application more according to the needs of the parents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Watcher Stephen. This has been so amazing. It's good to know that we have some local solutions that we can now use going forward. I want to open it up now for discussion. there are quite a number of comments in the chat, but maybe just to ask the audience, what struck you basing on the presentation? Personally, I was struck by the overall prevalence of children who are accessing these devices in Gulu City. So you can now imagine what is happening across Kampala, and maybe Wakiso and the neighboring districts. If people in Gulu if children in Gulu have this level of access, what is happening? But also the abuse that the children are experiencing. It also struck me. So I want now to open it up for discussion. You can raise your hand. We shall also go over to the comments in the chat at some point. But right now, we want to first of all open it up for discussion. We are going to first of all take 5 people, then we get a response, and then we can take more others. Okay. Anyone who wants to go first and share their reflections?
So do I get them to speak?
Yes. My colleague is going to help me to call out people whose hands are up.
The first one is called Joan.
Yes, Joan, please go ahead and make your submission. Okay, maybe we can hear from Miss Hope Wambi, because her mic is even open.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Thank you so
Yes,
much,
please.
Maria, and thank you so much, AfriChild, and thank you, Gulu University. We are really, really grateful to have such information, but really excited to see that the app is local. It is a homegrown solution to the challenge that we are having at that time. On top of appreciation, I have only 2 questions. One is the app free? And is it on Play Store? And then secondly, broadly, you spoke about the knowledge gap that, sometimes children are smarter than we, the adults. What are we doing? How can Gulu University, given that it's an education institution, liaise with Ministry of Education and probably ICT to make sure that there is awareness, but also rolling out of this beautiful app and some of these guardrails across the country? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hope, for that question. We are taking notes of the questions that are coming in. Joan, do you want to make your submission? You are muted in case you are talking. Oh. I think Joan may post in the chat. We are not able to hear from her. We can now, first of all, move into, since we got only 1 question, I want to invite the panelists to first respond to it. Then we move into the questions that are in the chat. Maybe other comments may also come in along the way. Dr. Tabo, do you want to respond?
Yes,
To
I
Hope's
may.
submission?
Yep. Thank you very much, Hope, for your insightful look into what we have been doing. I think it is really something very nice for us to kind of develop our competencies as a nation, and also to develop what we are doing and take it up to the national level. Now, this app is still on our totosave.org. It's not yet available on the Google Play Store. It is built on on Android. So we are going to put it there after this evaluation. Maybe more functions have come up, but if it is good enough, we shall be able to put it there as we continue to upgrade. I think at the beginning, we shall talk about the freedom of what we are doing because we are supported by AfriChild. We shall talk with AfriChild to see if we can put it up there for everybody to enjoy it, use it. But also that it is really true hope that the children have a lot of time, a lot of space in their brain, so they can learn things much faster. So what they look for on online, you cannot actually quickly prevent or can stop them from doing so. So the parents, while we are so busy doing so many other things, and when we get back home and we throw away our phone and watching TV or something else, the children are actually exploring further. So what they look for sometimes are intercepted by people who are doing other things. So we think that we have to have some level of control. We're not saying that they are brighter, but I say they learn fast and then they actually can run with everything before we know about them. As Gulu University, again, we're going to sit back and with AfriChild and see how we can engage. We already made some policy recommendations and we see how we can write some of these policy briefs, but also to see how to disseminate this app at a higher level together with Ministry of ICT, maybe NITA-U or UCC, and also the Ministry of Education to guide our children while they are actually learning. I think it should be able to get itself available for everybody because this is not just about money, it's about protection. This is what I can say for now. Thank you very much for your reflections. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tabo, for your response. Just moving on to the chat, there are quite interesting comments in there. And I will start with the one from Takele, who says, very interesting. Can you tell us the age group of children involved in the study? Then we have someone else who is saying, still Takele says, was the learning items like brackets, smartphones provided by the school or from their family? Maybe they want to get to know devices from. Is it from the school or from the family? Miss Judy Kamani says, with a policy, we also need a law and regulation for enforcement. So that speaks to basically maybe policy, informing policy, and then we have a law that is put in place regarding children's access to online content. Then Ruth Okumu says, good to know that you created tools to help parents to supervise their children's interaction online. Could you kindly share examples of these tools? You may respond to this, but I think the presentation about the app also speaks to the tools that the team developed. Then a comment from Hope Wambi, she says, well done. We are happy to have a local solution. Do you have any plan to engage the Ministry of Education and ICT for rolling this out? As already noted, there is a knowledge gap among the adults too. I think this speaks to the question that you have just responded to. Then we have another one that says that, well done, the research team. This is an early area of intervention and save our children. So basically appreciating the efforts that the team made to have this app in place. Then Jude says we have some laws in Uganda that can regulate this, privileging and revising the Computer Misuse Act, Data Protection and Privacy Act. I think is giving us some bit of leads to where we can start from. Thank you, Jude. Then Miss Hope Wambi says that is the app on Play Store. I think that has been responded to. Then there are appreciations from Dr. O, who says that wonderful presentation, thanks presenter. Someone is humbly requesting that we share this presentation because it has a lot of learnings for benchmarking and referencing. I think this will be shared. We shall hear from the Gulus of the Gulus behind the study on whether this can be available for public use. Then the digital divide is the biggest challenge we have. That's a comment from Miss Judy Kamanyi. We have a comment, I think in some bit of, I don't know whether it's French or some language that I'm not able to read, but I think it's still, it's Portuguese. Maybe if we have someone who can speak Portuguese, they can help translate for us. But I think it's related to what we are discussing. Then someone says use built-in parental controls like Google Family link, I think. That's Claire saying, I think that's how she protects her children online. Then still comments, I think related to the poll question where people are saying that they use parental lock and check devices. Also, they do this, they in the, like as they do it in their presence, like children do whatever they are doing online in their presence. Then someone says they love following their children on social media, which speaks to the poll question. Someone says that I need a better way to do so because these children are very slippery. So probably the app that has been presented to us is an avenue for us to start from. Still, some are related to the poll question. Then there is Miss Judy Kamanyi, who's saying that please spread this device use control across Uganda. We have now support backup from the audience that this should go across the country to see that our children are protected. And she's saying that it's good and long overdue. She's appreciating you, Stephen, for the work that you did regarding this app. Then Ruth is saying, is the app country specific? Is it for Uganda or it can be used in other countries? Just to mention, we have an international audience here. So please, Dr. Tabo, note that question and be able to respond whether this app can be accessed by people from other countries. Christabella Dong says, great. She's appreciating the presentation. Then Miss Judy Kamanyi also says limited information on digital safeguarding. I think she's saying that we have limited information on digital safeguarding, maybe as a country, but also globally, because this is a topic that is actually trending globally, that children are accessing online information and they are being abused. Can we share the link to the published manuscripts? Someone is asking. Then still someone is asking about what number of children are accessing internet in Gulu. Please take note, the presenters. Dr. Dennis Muhanji is appreciating. He says great innovation. It promises to be a very useful app for parents. I hope the instructions for use can be as simple as possible. Dr. Tabo and Stephen, please take note of this and respond on whether it will be easy for members, for the parents, for whoever is listening to be able to use the app. Then Susa says, this is a very great app. My question is, how are you creating awareness so that many parents can know about it and how it works? I think I should first pause there and we get some response from the presenters before we see other comments that are in the chat. Dr. Tabo, Stephen, please make some responses to the questions and the comments that have been raised so far.
Wow, thank you very much. This really mouthful of comments. That's very good. We love it that way. I will ask Stephen to start, but also, Maria, we have other members who might have joined in the audience, but they are part of our team, like Bernard, maybe now Robert, or we have now there also Alphonse, or maybe also Christine kind of found some space to go there. So you can check, they can also help us to respond to some of them. So can I ask Stephen to pick some and respond to, and I'll continue with the others. Thank you.
Yes, Doctor. Actually, Bernard is there in the audience.
Thank you so much once again. I would love to respond to a few things here. One question is which devices or tools are the children mostly using? We have realized that they mostly use smartphones or tablets. So that's why we majorly focused on Android.
Cover this now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Then another question is how we are creating awareness about the tool or the application. One is through our website. There's a website that is online, and then because it has a couple of settings that can easily be got through Google search. When you go into things like parental control applications, I believe somewhere, somehow, TotalSafe is going to be able to appear. And then as well, we intend to add in maybe short video clips or some kind of adverts on social media, majorly trying to use digital tools as well to create awareness. Then another question is, can it be used in other countries? Yeah, that is very possible. It can be used across multiple countries because it's the same devices that are being used in all countries. And we are majorly focusing on emails, not only phone numbers. But even if phone numbers, we shall be able to have a provision for all the countries. Then on the availability, for now, we still have a test version on our website, the totalsafe.org. When you click the download button at the top, it's going to take you to a button written download APK for the Android phone. But after several meetings, we shall be able to upload it to Play Store as well. Then another question was how many children are accessing internet in Gulu? We have focused within the city and some parts out of the city. And I can say logically, out of 10, if we are to pick statistically, out of 10 children, you'll get like 5 to 7 children accessing internet at different capacities. Yeah, thank you. That's what I can answer.
Okay, this is good. And now I have Bernard here. This is very nice. So we can also ask Bernard later to respond to some of this. But Takele, you asked about the age groups in primary 7. Maybe I call it standard 7 to standard 5, or from 5 to 7. The age groups will range from maybe 9 to 12. That's the kind of age group of children we have been able to engage with. But also that the schools, actually, some schools provide ICT facilities for the children. We have a sample of schools who have got computer labs with the tablets and all these ICT related teaching and learning taking place. But also sometimes we have parents at home who actually take care of this that already has been alluded to by Stephen. So there are so many different types of devices, but the interest here is that it is a simple app to install and run like we always do, like WhatsApp. But the outcome of what the app does is actually the most important, that it has to be really so simple for anybody to use. So the usability studies is still ongoing, and then also we think we can actually design better to afford the different practices we have, but also to make it more easy for the users to actually walk through. The laws and policies, you're right. What is his name? Somebody, I don't remember the name. We have some laws, but maybe the way the laws are enacted could be some things we can talk together with AfriChild, but also with Gulu University in general, to see how we can actually strengthen or enrich that the implementation of the law in the schools, but also the follow-up or mechanism of how we can entrust the district education officials to make sure these laws are enforced. Somebody asked about sharing presentation. Now this one we are developing. We have some draft manuscripts from this, which we are going to put together to actually get it published. Now this answers 2 questions. We shall therefore avail to AfriChild, our trainer, our sponsor, these different academic tools. But we shall also see with AfriChild if sharing this presentation is not a problem in terms of ethics and all these issues to do with the publication. But otherwise, it should be freely available if it is so informative that already we can start using and citing AfriChild and the authors as part of the delivery of this research. Yes, the great divide is a big challenge. We shall address this by slowly actually creating platforms where people can learn, not awareness, but people need to learn, need some action towards people learning and people sharing their experiences. This will take a little while, but I think it's an ongoing process from schools, from parents, from churches, from all this faith or whatever walks of life. People need to kind of get interested in learning some of these basic tools as they use. Trust me, people use less than 10% of the capability of their phones that they buy, including the computers, but we have them. So I am happy to learn from somebody that we have Google Family Link that we also need to take care of in our app as we kind of upgrade. I think this is very nice for me and also for the team, I'm sure. We shall be able to share this little tool across the entire country, maybe just across the continent, because I think the tool is not restricted to us, but kind of we have similar cultures and similar learning curves. Maybe it can be so useful to all others, but also can get us feedback to generating new versions of the same. So it's not really very context specific, but we draw on this context based on our research protocol as a way to deliver this talk. So currently it's so easy to use. And yeah, number of children is good. Stephen has given us a kind of a rough percentage, but you all know that schools nowadays are requesting us to actually also provide some of the tools for the school, including where my children go to. They have to learn ICT. What they learn there, I don't know. But when they come home, they ask difficult questions, so I try to respond. So I also kind of see how do we really link up this. Some of them are really advanced. So we create awareness, but also we need to take action. Bernard, if you have something to add to these quick responses, maybe you can add before Maria reads through extras. Thank you.
Maybe to add on, we have some extra questions. In as much as one was answered, that will it be free? We shall be able to communicate later on that. Then there has been a very nice question that why would one choose TotalSafe over Google Family or something like that? As we have noticed when doctor was presenting, actually in his profile, it clearly says that we focus on user-centered design. We shall be able to provide a chat space on the website so that we can be able to know exactly what the parents need. So the application features will be easily dictated or requested by the parents. So majorly we are focusing on providing a solutions to the parents, not a solution to ourselves. So definitely, yeah, that's the answer that I have for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Dr. Tabo, for responding to our questions.
But I'm talking through Stephen's computer. Otherwise,
So
Maria,
I want to first.
Google.
I want to invite Akena Martin to make his submission before we move into the chat. His hand has been up for some time.
Hello, can you hear me?
Please make your submission. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you for this wonderful presentation and the application coming up. As the name says, my name is Akana Martin, an alumni from Gulu University. Also, I head the IT department at Lacho Hospital, apparently. We deal with a lot of people here. We have about 800 users per se. And often we get like, my phone is not working. Someone has tapped this on my phone. My phone has been hacked. And always when we dig deeper, it relates back to what like parents give their phones to the kids, and the kids always access like what they don't know. It's always a problem, both to the parent and the kid, because you don't know what like they access when you're not there, when you give them the phones to play with it, or some of them have their own phones they use for studying and the rest, but you don't know what they access. Internally, we use like a lot of controls to do that. We have like sets of firewalls. We have like a set of rules that we use to control. Now, going on the app that is being developed, I saw like the provision for web filter. That's a crucial tool. I don't know whether you can incorporate also like proxy controls. In most cases, when you're using these applications and someone has like a good proxy, can always bypass this. We have learned that, and we always update our proxy defense more often because they always come. New things are always coming, and these kids always study those things. They have like a lot of VPNs they know that always bypass most of the rules that are set. And all these things are coming from other developers also. So I don't know the preparedness or like whether that is already in place. You talked of also integrating AI to the tech side. Is it linked to that, or there's a provision for that in the future? Because the evolution is real right now. New things are coming every day, and these kids are proving like very, very smart in bypassing all these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Dr.
Thank you so
Tabo,
much.
do
I
you
would
want to
love to
respond?
answer
Or Stephen?
the two questions that you have put forward. One is using VPNs and proxies so that they can easily mask all the web requests that they are making. Anyway, let me try and be simple. Using VPN tries to change the URLs or the search that the children try to do on their web browsers. Yeah, so definitely on that, there is always a workaround on that. There is a similar application that I've been working on that solves that problem. So we are going to integrate that so that it's going to be a little bit hard to bypass the security features of this application. And then on the part of artificial intelligence, yeah, we are planning to add in the artificial intelligence bit of the application as our future additions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for your response. Martin, I hope you have been answered. Going back to the chat, we have quite a number of comments, but I'll start with one from our executive director, who is saying that the AfriChild Center is also committed to using all its platforms and networks to publicize the app. So in terms of how far this app is going to go, the AfriChild Center is committed to making sure that the world gets to know about it, parents in Uganda and all over Africa, such that they're able to use it to protect children. Then he also says that we intend to create awareness among parents across Uganda, the region, and beyond. So that's a commitment that has been made by the AfriChild Center. Thank you, Timothy, for making that commitment. Then other comments that came in, we have a comment from Ebange, who says, what role can schools play in integrating digital safety education into their curriculum? So it speaks to the teachers who are maybe the teachers who are in the audience, people who are part of universities. This question is kind of like posed to that audience in terms of what role can schools play. Then still people are asking whether the app is going to be free or it will require subscriptions. I think Stephen responded to that earlier. Then someone says that the Total Safe app information is amazing and good news in promoting digital safeguarding here. When do you intend to make this information known to Uganda? Known to Uganda? Your creativity is much appreciated. How will you build the parents' capacity to use it? That is from Rona from SOS. She's asking about how we are going to make this information known, but also to build the capacity of parents to use the app. That's something to note. And then Joyce says that this works well for literate parents. She's wondering how adaptive, context-specific to accommodate the rural and semi-literate parents. So can any parent use this app? The team will respond to us. Then Emmanuel says, thank you for your efforts in championing child-focused research. Children are very advanced with digital knowledge. The knowledge gaps identified are pertinent and require holistic remedies. However, we ought to understand the ring of responsibilities. Kindly share with us the presentation. So he's appreciating the efforts, but also makes a point to the intelligence of children that we need to take note of as we roll out all this. Great innovation here. This was needed yesterday. Please complete the process. So please, Gulu team, don't drop the ball. We need to finish this and have it on Play Store and have it spread across the nation. Dr. Odama, who is actually a mentor on this program from Uganda Matters University, says, which electronic tools are used mostly by children you surveyed? Someone says we need to see how to disseminate this information, especially to private schools, to speaking about dissemination. One says that thanks presenters, this is an eye-opener, because many times we assume that our children cannot watch bad things, and we forget that they are very curious. Miss Judy Kamanyi says is the Total Safe app. I think she's asking whether it has patent rights. That will be for the team to respond. Then Patrick says this is tremendous work on finding our own solutions. Technically, why would one choose this app versus the Google? Why would one choose this app versus the Google Family Link app? Have we thought on maintenance and sustainability model of the app? I think they're speaking to what makes this app unique and why should I choose it? Dr. Tabo Wacha and the entire Gulu team, well done, congratulations. Some applauding from Dr. Odama. Kathy Nabionga says, we thank the team for the good presentation. Violet says, many thanks for the presentation, very informative, especially in the era of .com, Gen Z's, etc., and many other upcoming generations, Generation Alpha, all that. Eva says, would the app be free? I think people are asking about Gulu team. You need to let us know whether this app will be free. She says that there is a lot of parents who cannot afford data or even gadgets. How are we going to innovate to include all? Because issues that affect children affect us, affect all of us. Statistically, that is worrying and calls for intervention. I think it speaks to the statistics that Stephen pointed, which was pointing to around 50% of children being able to access gadgets and online content. Great innovation. How will you monitor the performance of the app and if it's creating impact? Many things to think through, Gulu team. Then Anthony Subuga says, can we have a computer version app also? Maybe this, Stephen, you will let us know whether this app can be on any device or it's only on smartphones. Jimmy says, thanks AfriChild Center and Gulu University for the great work you are doing. Please extend your services in refugee settings, Igi Changwali, Navigate Chaka to Ramanja. Just to mention, Jimmy, AfriChild is really operating in all those areas. We have undertook studies in those areas, and many more studies are coming. Geoffrey, someone says Geoffrey, I don't. Those are some of the comments that we have in the chat. I want to thank you for making the time to reflect and share all those wonderful comments. Now I want to invite the team to respond to some of the questions that have been posed to the presenters. Dr. Tabo, do you want to go first?
Yes, I go first and I'll pick a few. Then I'll ask Stephen to respond to the other. But if our mentor also comes across here now, if you find him around, he was in Arua, then he can also help us to clarify some of the things. Otherwise, thank you so much to Martin. You have actually given a lot of insight into this. And as Stephen said, this is under development. We look forward to a better app, actually more improved version. And specifically from the bottom of our hearts in Gulu, we thank Director so much for opening up the opportunity for us to actually get this app into the public, but also to create awareness across Uganda about this app. And that could be some of the things we should carry on from now on. Research, policy, and impact. That is AfriChild itself. So I think this is really so positive. But also, as somebody already said, schools have got a lot of roles to play when it comes to actually integrating ICT into the curriculum or into the teaching and learning. So the teachers know this, but also within this curriculum development, maybe at Chambogo, the Curriculum Development Center, we need to carefully look into the integration process, but also to advise on some of the tools and more importantly, safeguards for these schools. While we are at school, like Martin said, it is quite easier through firewalls and the others. But when we are at home, we have all these different tools and gadgets with the children, smartphones, tablets, laptops, and so on. We can hardly control them. But for now, we are actually looking through the Android for the smartphones, because smartphones has better outreach than the laptops in different schools, also many different locations. So we shall try to see how we can get the information known, Rona, to everybody. And already I said thank you to AfriChild for this. But the big question here is it going to be free? I will go back to my group and also I'll come to Maria herself with the director. We shall talk about how do we make this free. And the good question was patent. We may need to talk again also, Maria, about patenting. It can be free, but we need to patent it so that at least Gulu University keeps getting some of the, I don't know whether it's royalty or recognition or something, by having some of these innovations coming out into the public domain. So this issue of urban and peri-urban and rural parents is a little sticky, but I think slowly technology is becoming cheaper over time, and I would see that, I can see that even the rural parents are going to become aware, but also to be able to acquire some of the technologies, and therefore having some of this information handy to them beforehand, it can be useful. But how we can solve this problem of digital divide is a little sticky. We need to have another layer of debate on this. But otherwise, in the university, we have a lot of courses that we actually do, but these are really short training on basic ICT tools and internet and stuff, which I've been doing over the last 18 years or so for specific groups of people. But this will go a long way in maybe extending out into the community, doing outreach and training parents as they actually within their localities instead of coming to the university facilities. Maybe before I take it to Stephen, I think we shall also take our time. Maria, we have one more session. We are inviting all the schools that participated, both private and public, and we are going to talk with them about this app. They are also going to get their feedback and also how to improve this app from Gulu City perspective. But as we said, it's just going to roll out to everywhere else. Affordability for the parents, I think we'll talk about this, and monitoring. This is a very difficult question for now, but I'll ask Stephen to respond to this. But we expect, if I can say loosely, that app should be free for Ugandans, because if you again tag some fee to it, then again another layer of segregation begins to emerge. Otherwise, for me to all of you, thank you very much. For now, Stephen, please take it over.
Thank you so much. I would love to answer the question of monitoring performance. Yeah, one thing we shall do is we shall have a blog on the website where we shall run a couple of questions as well and polls on the website to see how the app is working for the parents. And then another thing is the computer version of the application. Yeah, we are looking at providing a version that works on any device, whether computer or a screen or any kind of electronic device that can be used for availing information and such abuses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen and Dr. Sabo, for responding to the questions. You have responded to all the questions that have been raised in the chat. Miss Judy Kamanyi continues to encourage you to please hurry up and have the app patented, such that maybe nothing else happens before it's patented. Then one Kanyike Ronnie is asking, that developer, what are you doing about the bugs and freezing of the app? I think we are going to respond to these ones, and then we can see how to move into the closure. Then Charles Akiki says, thanks for the innovation to make online a safe space for the children. As a bioethics, we encourage parental consent from instances of engagement and involvement of children, whether emancipated minors, juveniles, and young from the common good of a safe online space. Glacius, I think, is basically appreciating the team for the work well done. So maybe you could just respond to the one of Kanyike Roni, and then we see how to take it from there, where he's asking, what are you doing about the bugs and freezing of the app?
Thank you so much. I think when at the beginning of the video, we recommended that you have to enable a couple of settings. The app freezing could be due to some limited access that you have given the application, because we have a couple of settings that you should allow for the application to run. Then as well, also depends on the version of the Android version that you are running the application on. But on our side, all the applications that we have, all the phones that we have used the app on have not been freezing. But thank you so much for that question. We shall have it worked on as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your responses and for your active participation. Just to wrap this up, we want to say thank you for making the time to participate in this webinar, to follow, because once we are able to listen to this information, it's eye-opening, even how now maybe we are going to start to look at children, how they are accessing maybe devices, and maybe be keen on protecting them. Someone says that they have one last question. Maybe you can post it in the chat, and the team can also respond in the chat to that question as we close. We want to thank you, our dear audience, for being a wonderful audience. And we pray that everything doesn't end here, but we go ahead and carry on the recommendations that have been provided here, the patenting of the app, which we have been encouraged to do, and then the spreading of the information about this app across the nation, across the region, to see that parents get to know. There are some pertinent issues to think about, like how maybe the parents of different categories, maybe the illiterate parents, how are we going to support them? So there are a number of issues that the Gulu team and maybe AfriChild have to look into to see that we make children safe online, given that the online platforms are available and we may not be able to maybe prevent children from accessing online content, but what can we do to protect them from the information that is not useful for them, that is going to be abusive towards them. So thank you so much. I want to invite the comms team to let us know to make any announcements. Oh, okay. Our comms team says thank you for joining us today. Join us for the episode 2 of the 2026 AfriChild webinar series as we continue the conversation and share more actionable insights. They are posted the link in the chat for you to register, but just to let you know that we have several webinars that are lined up from the 10 universities. Gulu University has been the first one, but we have 10 universities who are also going to present very interesting studies on different topics regarding children in Uganda and children in Africa. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Have a nice evening, a good day, depending on where you have joined from.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the audience from Gulu.
And thank you, the presenters.
You're welcome.